Hello, Tim from Fair Play Now on the 26th of July 2021. I was privileged to be in the presence of Dr. Vernon on Saturday, and one thing he always says at the end of his videos is remember you're not alone, which has become his kind of catchphrase, I guess. And that got me thinking, because I suppose one of the main sort of reasons this channel is in existence is really to try and demonstrate that you're not alone, I'm not alone, we're not alone, because it has been a very, very difficult 16 months, hasn't it? Kind of when you go against the narrative, go against this, go against that, all the usual things, and you get kind of called out by people you used to sort of regard as friends and family. Well, you might still regard them as family, but you know what I'm saying. People you used to regard as trusted friends is what I'm trying to say, who now regard you as some kind of crazy. And that certainly happened to me. And a lot of these people do like to make out that we are alone. And you go even now out to the shops and the majority of people are still muzzled up. And if you listen to the government figures, which I don't, to be honest with you, but again, they make out that we're in this sort of very, very tiny minority. And you talk to people. I remember having a conversation with my mum some months ago, and we were talking about the you-know-what. She's had her too. Unfortunately, despite me trying to protest and kind of persuade her to not have them, she went ahead, and we had a bit of a sort of discussion. It wasn't really an argument, a discussion on the phone. And during the course of the conversation, she said, well, you know, you're the only person I know who's not having it. And I felt like saying to her at the time, well, you know, just because everybody's doing something doesn't necessarily make it right. In fact, it probably makes it wrong. And that's been demonstrated plenty of times throughout history, hasn't it? But I didn't say anything. I just said, well, you know, I'm doing what I'm doing. So sort of like it or lump it, really. So it's one of those subjects that you get together with these friends and family. If you're still doing that, I am with my mum and etc. and the sort of close family, and it's just become one of those taboo subjects you don't talk about, and which is very, very sad. And it's when people like your mum or whoever it might be say things like that, well, you know, you're the only one sort of not having that, you're the only one who's not doing that, you're the only one who wasn't clapping like a seal sort of this time last year, you're the only one who's this, that and everything else. And it's all designed to make you feel very lonely. And I know that a lot of people watching this have felt very, very lonely. Either lonely as a couple, you might be in the fortunate position we're in that so you've got a like-minded spouse or partner. But even worse is if you're on your own, or with a partner who is completely with the narrative, and I can't imagine how lonely that must be. It must be sort of terrible, really. So what I wanted to do with this channel is just to try and convince people that you're not alone. I hope I've done that in various ways, from the footage I shoot of the London marches with all those hundreds of thousands of people who are like-minded to us, to introducing you to the stand in the park things, or at least reminding you of that if you knew about them already. And I know a lot of people only found out about those through this channel, and that you're now going down to your local stands in the park and meeting like-minded people, and also introducing you to other channels where again you've got like-minded people with lots and lots of followers. And the fact that this channel has got well over 2,500 subscribers now, and if you're one of those, by the way, sort of thank you very much. I'm sort of very glad to have you on board. But the reason why I'm mentioning that figure is you're in a club of 2,500+ people, and then you've got the likes of Hugo Talks and Carl Vernon. I think, certainly Carl Vernon's up to over 75,000 subscribers. So there you go, there's another 75,000 people who are with you. So I suppose the purpose of this video is just to demonstrate that you're not alone. You've got me and Lorraine by your side. You've got people like Carl Vernon and Dr. Vernon and all the others, all the London marchers who are there, and all the other places up and down the country and all around the world. We're seeing so much footage now, aren't we, of all these marchers all around the world, whether it's obviously France, and they're really going great guns at the moment, Australia, Ireland, and that looked like a fantastic turnout in Dublin, and Scotland, and all over this country and the world, like I say. And if you've been on the marches, you can be proud of yourself, but you can also be proud of yourself if you've endured all these many months of loneliness and come through to this side of things with your sanity relatively intact. That is an achievement, and it just shows the powers that shouldn't be that we're not going to be pushed around. We're going to stay here, and we're going to stay put, and we're going to not consent to the rubbish. It doesn't matter how difficult our lives get. If they sort of bring in these flipping passport things wholesale all over the place, we are a growing band of people who will, first of all, most likely stop the rollout of that thing to any great degree at least. And if not, there's plenty of people who are going to be sort of sticking by each other's sides and by our side. One thing that our stand in the park people are beginning to do are, we're talking about doing some other meetings over and above just the Sunday morning thing. We're sort of looking at maybe midweek evening meetups, either at the pub or sort of just round at someone's house. I've seen that being discussed in the group. As I said in my previous video, some of us have exchanged telephone numbers and emails, so we can easily arrange to get together. Maybe not every week during the week, but maybe every sort of second or third week we can sort of just all go down to the pub or wherever we feel most comfortable. And it's just all building on that thing of not feeling so lonely. So I'm going to wrap this video up just by finishing as Dr. Vernon does. You are most certainly not alone. There's many of us, and our numbers are growing as well. So there's no need to feel alone anymore. Tim from Fair Play now. Thanks for watching.